Okay. That should be all set now.
All right, let's roll.
All right. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take a walk here. Headphones on. These headphones might not be. All right, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, man. So, I mean, what do you think? I mean, our last talk was about I showed one of my contacts that talk, and he was like, he was commenting about how the music is a little bit like drowning out. I think he couldn't get like what it was, whether it's a podcast or it was a song. And I was like, yeah, I did get it. That's the same exact feeling I had. I needed to turn down the music so people who were listening could hear what we were saying. I remember that I had this old buddy of mine. His name is Nick Bowen. He's an incredibly inspiring businessman. He actually headhunted me when I was working with the company I'm working with now, because he saw me doing my thing out in the street and was just like, yo, like, you got to come work with me. And I was like, all right, well, let's go. Like, and then we worked something out, and he was in what was it, Forbes, 27 under 27, he made some kind of record for his age at the time. He's like a couple years younger than me, but at the time, let's see, no, he couldn't have been, I think he made the list later on. At the time, he didn't make the list, but he's an incredibly driven dude. But I talk about him because, he started this like podcasting type of thing that's way different. He said he wanted to do like an 8-dimensional media system that was like a podcast, but it incorporated music along with like different. It was like a podcast type thing where you hear like someone like Alan Watts or some like one of these like classical inspirational figures lecturing or talking about something, and so it was supposed to be like a what's it called, immersive experience where it's not just it's supposed to be like, it's like trying to get at a different dimension of engagement where it's not just listening to music and it's not just the podcast, but it's like trying to, and I gotta find that again because I haven't touched base with him in years, but I thought that what we did last time reminded me of that a little bit, but it was a little bit, but the way I did it, my editing was a little bit sloppier. But it, just thinking about that, I got to reach out to him again and maybe, but he's, I don't even know where he is or what he's doing right now, but he is, he had his own challenges. I remember, like, he was really public about everything that he was going through, though, which again, for me, I really resonate with. He wanted this, like, he went through a really bad divorce, and his ex-wife was, like, trying to extort him for stuff, but he went on the record with everything, and, it seemed like he got out of it pretty good. He did talk about the trauma that he went through, and he went to court with it, and put that on the record.
Wait, hold on. I'm getting a lot of feedback on your speaker right now. Okay, now it went away.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, now it's better.
All right. Yeah. But what I was saying, like, in the text was, instead of restricting, I said restructuring, because I feel like everybody's got to do, live in their purpose. And a lot of times that is work, right? But it can be art. It can be a lot of different things. And sometimes just the search is your purpose. Sometimes the search is, the whole, but But again, like we live in this world where, it's like there are certain necessities that we got to cover. Everybody's got to have a roof over their head. Everybody's got to get some food, and what I mean. So,
your bare needs got to be met first.
How you doing? And it's like, and so that's why if the system isn't respectable, if the system is, like if it's too broken apart or damaged or whatever, then it's like, how you doing? Then that's the thing. It's like, it's hard for people to trust. I mean, even for example, with the charity that I work with, right? It's like all the time I talk with people about it and they're like, well, how do you know it's not a scam? And I'm like, man, I know, man. People stole my identity before, so I understand where you're coming from. It's not easy to trust sometimes. Like, but that's the thing. It's like, you got to be brave in life. Fortune does favor the brave, if you're not taking risks, it's like, you don't got to go crazy. So anyway, let me take a step back and let you spit a little bit here.
I'd say with the system, it's going to take a lot of belief in anything. Everyone's going to want to believe in something and have to know the core foundation. And I think the biggest part of it is the mission statement. I mean, that's supposed to solidify what's going on to the public's eyes. The mission statement's supposed to cover all the grounds. Like you said, just on speaking on the company, like I didn't know when you said to do it if it was factual or not. I'm like, well, how do I know that this kid's actually gonna, receive a meal off of my dollar? Like, where do I know that if I actually go and prepare a meal, will I actually see me hand it to someone? Is that more useful? But at the same time, like you said, fortune favors the brave, and there's got to be opportunities. There's got to be other companies that want to do good. So you try to trust those companies. You want to trust the people around you and trust that not everyone's a scumbag. You want to trust that there's actually some good in the world, and being able to like throw the money down, the financial down on it to help, or even just like you said, it can come in other ways. It can come in art. It can come through so many things. And it's hard to differentiate when it seems like everyone just got their hand out for money for the cause.
Yeah, man. That's the thing, man. It's so funny, man, because I just walked down to 7 like earlier, and it's like it all comes full circle. Like yesterday, I went down over there, and I didn't have any cigarettes, so I tried to buy one off some guy or a couple of dudes that were standing out there, and it's like they kind of just dismissed me immediately, like without even a consideration. And I was like, and the way they did it was just like, to me, it felt so inhuman. I'm like, man, I took a little mental note of all their faces and like, I know who you are. And then it's like today I go back down there, I buy a pack myself, and this young guy's out there. I give him a fish, a square, and he's like, and he just, he opens the door for me, and he's like, treating me with respect and everything. And I remember this, there was this thing I saw recently. It's one of those guys on LinkedIn, and he's one of these social media. He's like a business consultant of some kind. I haven't looked into him too deeply, but he's talking about how, what did he say? It's like, hold up a sec. He's
more of a guru or more of an influencer?
He's more, he's like, yeah, kind of more into the influencer side of things. Like he's steeped into the business,
Okay. Yeah.
I gotta remember Steven Simic, I think.
Okay.
If that rings a bell. But he was all over YouTube, and he was all over a lot of all over the media for a little bit. I haven't seen him a lot recently, but I did see this video again, and so I know he's still out there, but he was saying something that, oh yeah, that's what he said. I remember what he said. He said, you got to always remember that, you deserve the red cup. Like in the sense, like, once you make it, once you get the money and everything, everybody's going to treat you differently,
Right.
But he's like, you got to remember that again. It's like you're still just the guy with the cup. You're still the guy with the red cup that, it's like people treat you different when you got money, but you're still the same person. So don't forget where you came from, type of thing. And he's saying like, be humble, don't forget where you came from, type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don't let it get to your head.
Yeah. You're still the same person, But anyway, but for me, it's like, I think so much about like, you know, the restructuring of the system because, again, it's like, I mean, I love working with people, you know, I feel like, you know, but again, it's like, that's why you need the LLC, you need the 501c3, the different things that people, the language that people speak, you know, you need the language that people can trust, you know, that they know, like what they're investing in or what they're showing up for, you know, they're going to have someone show up for as well. You know, because like, and that's why I say, you know, talk is cheap. You know, I mean, words are powerful, but talk is cheap. You got to read between the lines and figure out what the meaning is. Because, I mean, which, yeah, I just keep thinking about Nick, you know, Nick, my man, he's, I got to get back in touch with him. Because he was always just there for me. Like, you know, whatever the situation was, when I went back to school in Miami and when, and he was just launching his podcast thing, you know, it's like, it didn't really matter. You know, he was always about his business, but he wasn't like lost in it. You know, he made time to talk and just catch up. And, you know, we were friends, you know, more than anything else. You know what I mean?
Right.
We were friends based on business. I mean, that's the reason why we became friends, because he saw me do what I could do. And that's why he, you know, asked me to join him in his work. And, you know, like for me, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Like I love my Pirate King thing because it's like, you know, One Piece, you know, it's like Luffy. It's like at the end of the day, Luffy, you've seen One Piece, right?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You know, Luffy, he's like, he always believes in his crew, you know, they let him down, but he still believes in them. You know, it's like, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody fumbles sometimes. You just get back up, you know, you'll make it. You know what I mean? It's all about friendship. You know,
It's all about friendship regardless.
You know,
because like that's what's going to be there when other things subside is going to be like that's one thing that I look to, and some of the people, the connections I've made lately, I'm like, you know, regardless of how I view it, I try to view it from their eyes too, and through just different circumstances that may or may not happen. And like I understand that I understand that financially normally I'm elevated, and I ask myself, is that the only reason that these people are here? Because of that? And if so on and so forth happen, can I call them, and will I still get the same level of respect and same level of friendship when those things are subsided? And then for me, that's hard to tell, because at the same time, I understand that, like, I mean, we could all just be broken together, regardless of if it's financial or not. We could all be broken. But what are we going to do to tie each other back together? That's where it comes in. The most important thing is, like, how can we build each other back up?
Yes. I love it, man. Yeah, my mom, she would always say, like, that's the thing that she hated about communism. She's like, you know, communism is all about, like, being in hell together. And it's like, well, you know, it's like there's a nice ring to it, but, you know, sometimes you got to realize that, you know, like, it's better if one makes it, right? It's better if one makes it, and you know, you can remember those, you know, you can remember your heroes, you know, you can remember, you don't want to make them into an idol, but sometimes it's just like the sacrifice for what's to come, you know? So, you know, because that's the thing. It's like, I mean, that's the thing about communism. It's like, you know, it's all about the material, you know, it puts all the trust in the visual, the image, you know. Image is something. It's not like, you know, meaningless, but it's not the meaning, you know. And that's why it's like capitalism, while it may not be perfect, is, you know, a better structure. It gives people the opportunity to lift themselves out of whatever hell they're in, and to, you know, and to inspire somebody else to, you know. And I think that, like, there's the balance, you know. It's like, because we do need the structures, you know, we do need the structures to, you know, so that, but that's the thing. It's like the trust has to be there. Otherwise, you know, you get cheated, or you feel like, you know, it's like, oh, you know, how valuable is the work?
There's opportunities to cheat and